Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
They want to tell you, brought to you by Dispose LLC. This is a garbage company that's real small, that's getting big, and one of the things I can tell you is I'm there, and I am out to serve you. So if you need a dumpster, and you're tired of the big boys, and you want to get good customer service, come on over there to Dispose and find out what all I can do for you.
Okay.
We got specials. The coronavirus, don't let that fool you. One of the things we want to do is get that junk out your house, get it to a landfill away from you to keep you virus-free.
Yes.
So give us a call at Dispose LLC. Now, I got to be going back to the person that's been rocking with me for over 4 years now. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
You're doing beautiful, man. Everything is lovely.
Blaze it out, shine. You got that little sparkle in your eye.
Yeah, man.
Boy, you keep it going every week.
Yeah. Listen, I got some new mentors. And,
okay.
I'm ready to go to the next level. So.
Okay. Get a borrow one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Or we find you one for your specialty.
Yeah,
you know?
I need man.
But they trying to take me to the next level, so I'm standing in that gap. Trying to be all I can be, man. How you doing tonight, Smooth Jay?
Man, let me tell you, man, one of the things I love about Thursday nights, and it's like what you were saying earlier, man, is one of the things that I see my therapy.
Yes.
So I go through hell running my business throughout the week. And then I go through my men's meeting to kind of calm me, and then this soothes me.
Yes.
It's like taking words into action.
Yes.
So one of the things I could tell you why I love what I do is because it helps me, but it also shares a lot with you, because I can't say what's going to help you. It's going to be up to you. But if you realize what you need, you can make change to what you do.
There you go. A perfect way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And of course, we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a fantastic dialogue. We're going to just talk about the subject of monogamy tonight. And watch out, Jay.
Why?
And of course, as we do, we want you to make some decisions about how this information feels to you. What decisions are you going to make for your life? Perhaps we can liberate you and open your mind to a whole new way of thinking. And that's what this show is about. We like it to be somewhat therapeutic. And of course, we're truly grateful for you being here with us tonight. We are nothing without you.
That's right.
And we're not a quick fix show. We're going to be here for 2 hours. And so, stay tuned with us throughout the breaks. If you can't for some reason hear the music during the breaks, just fast forward a couple of minutes and we'll be back doing the next segment. So, of course, we always start the show off with a prayer. And I didn't know, Jay, if you wanted to pray for us
you
tonight.
all suited and booted, baby. Give it to him.
You got a topic tonight, man?
Man, let's see.
Something a little out of the box.
Out of the box.
Yeah, ladies, any ideas on topics for prayer?
They over there drinking. We can't invite folks to you.
We want this prayer to be about health.
About health. Okay. Outstanding. And let me see if I can put some love on that.
Spin it.
Heavenly Father, we thank you now for just another opportunity to do this great show. We thank you for our audience tonight. We thank you, Father, for liberating our minds in the area of health. We're asking for a greater health, Father, not only in our bodies, but in our minds, in our situations, our circumstances. We're asking for health, Father, in the way that we think, in the way that we walk and talk. We want to be healthy in every part, every fiber of our being. And we ask, Father, that you would guide our thoughts toward health. Help us to make the right decisions and have the right understandings about what to eat or what exercises to do. Liberate our spirits and minds and be energetic about taking control of our health. Give us dominion over our health, Father, so that perfect function and perfect order can be revealed through our bodies. Give us speed and agility and refresh our mindset on the idea of just being perfect, whole, and complete. We ask, Father, that you would be in this show with us tonight, liberate us, and give us a good word. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Crab hit that.
Man, I wanted to go down some more avenues.
Well, I was waiting on you to hit some more, man.
Yeah,
My cash app didn't get hit up not one time.
I didn't prepare for that one, but
you gave it to them, and they still didn't donate.
It's all about reaching in the spirit for what you want. You got to reach with your word. It's like a cat climbing up a tree. You got to keep reaching, and that's the only way you're gonna get to those divine inspirations. Life comes from the inside out, and most people think life happens from the outside in. But when I pray, I set forth a whole motion of activity and energy and waves and vibes and particles and all of that. What some might call nonsense. I set forth my intention in the world.
Yes.
And the world responds by revealing to me what I set intention for. And, I've been amazed over the years. Jade and I have been doing this show for 40 years now.
Easy.
And I say a prayer every week, and I'm just almost amazed every week. Somewhere between Tuesday and Thursday, the blessing happens from that prayer that I said the previous week. It's just like clockwork. What I pray for just somehow seems to be manifesting, and which reminds me that I need to do it more.
Right. And can you pray over the lottery? I need to know numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lottery, I want you to come speak to Jay.
Yeah. Speak and give me the numbers.
Tell him what he need to know.
I just need to know numbers.
Hey, it's up there, huh?
Oh, yeah. And that way we can get some things straight.
Yes.
We working it out.
Yes. So let's move on. Last week we talked about jealousy.
Oh, my goodness.
What's the words we
Man,
used?
when I said, man, it was all about something I went through.
Yeah.
And I said it before, and it was just when I thought I had it sold. I thought I had it all.
You thought you
and
had
jealousy came in and stole the show.
Yes.
Now, I had a couple things happen. On one, my Ohio State didn't do good with Alabama.
Okay.
That didn't work out well.
Right.
But it's all right. It happens. And then, secondly, when I went up and seen my daughters, I felt a little jealousy in the air. So it was a lot of tension. But you brought down some things that I didn't perceive at the time. So again, it was a learning experience when you talk through it and then somebody else receive it in a different way.
Right.
So I was looking more of a jealousy, and then you was like, well, maybe there's some things that was said.
Right.
So it made me open up and say, well, you're right. I wouldn't know everything that was said because I was up there for my own purpose.
Right.
And what his thoughts was not mine.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I felt more like, yo, you need to get off that. But again, anybody can lead somebody down a different path.
Right.
So
Right.
it's about eye-opening experiences. And one of the things I can tell you, jealousy is not always what it seemed to be, but it can be shown. And I like to say he showed me a lot of insecurities with me being there.
Yeah.
When I really felt like he should have been more secure because I was there for my girls.
Yeah.
And when a man is there for his child, I think that should be honored all the time.
Yeah.
Because we always talk about how we're not. So when somebody is, it's like pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Because you want to stay on the negative.
You know what I got out of last week's show?
What'd you get?
I asked myself the question, as I'm entertaining the idea of being jealous, right? That if I'm jealous, it's going to be oftentimes because it's going to be because something sparked that, right? She's paying him more attention, or this, that, and the other. It seems like she's dressed provocatively, and shaking her ass in front of everybody, or you can half see through a dress.
Right.
She's causing attention, right? And so that might make me feel jealous, right?
No, that made me mad.
That'll make you mad.
Make me mad.
Yeah, mad and jealousy, they kind of all go together.
They can. I get in my feelings.
Yeah, but I don't have a need to feel that way, because if she's the kind of person who's going to put me in that position, she gets to go.
Oh, so you're ready to go step behind.
She needs to go.
You can get
Right?
rid of it.
I have no need to sit in jealousy
That's
when
what I'm talking about.
when that's what she wants.
Right.
Right?
So you just kick that behind to the curb.
Right.
All
Listen,
right.
bottom line is jealousy is an emotion.
Right.
Right? And it's actually a negative emotion, because it affects us negatively, and it affects our relationships negatively. But emotions are not right or wrong. They're just emotions. It's just how you feel. And if you feel this way, I think it's important to voice it, especially if it's your significant other or your wife. Make them understand that you are uncomfortable with X, Y, and Z. If it's just who you are, you just need some inner strength.
Yeah, you got some insecurity.
You got some insecurities.
There's some things going on.
And everybody's got a few insecurities, but
That's a lot.
Listen, like if your wife is a 7, and you love her to death, she's your main thing forever, ride or die. But when the dime piece come around, the wife gonna be like, let me make sure she don't get too close to my husband. Let me make sure she ain't be talking to my man, right? It's gonna be a natural occasion. It's not, it's a soft portion of jealousy, right? So let me just make sure, because she already know how the woman thinks, right? And so that could be part of what her jealousy thought process is like, I know how women are, so let me go ahead and let me make sure I check her so she don't get too comfortable over there joking with my man,
Well,
right?
I mean, I can see that, but I mean, you can be ugly. She is him and you too.
Yeah.
She should be jealous now. You know that dime ain't gonna look at your ass. He moved left. He moved. But again, I get what you're saying. I get it.
You said the dad ain't gonna be looking at it
That
anyway.
would.
I know.
Trying to figure out. She trying to figure out why she was looking at
Well,
it.
he'll be getting his eyes full. That's for sure.
And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes,
So-
yes. Listen, it was a great show. We'd love for you folks to go back and take a look at it. We are all over the internet. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Let Go, Offer
there
Up,
you
Craigslist,
go.
Black Planet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Crawfish.
Yeah. If you,
No fish. Eat your fish.
if you're looking for Bar Talk, we are online.
We
All
gonna
you gotta
find
do is type in Bar Talk with Jay and even bartalkwithjay.com. So go back and check out the show and share us, like us, subscribe, send it to all your friends and family.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go on Christian Mingle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christian
Put
Mingle.
us right
get kicked
there.
off.
We might shock a few of them when they come on here. though.
We pray.
Yeah.
We pray together.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, we probably won't stay together.
But listen,
Take-
we won't stay together. It ain't because we ain't going through the same stuff.
Right,
it's
right.
just that we talk about it differently.
All day?
That'd be the only thing.
All
right?
day.
That'd be the only thing. So
we pray.
yeah. So anything on your mind tonight, Jay? You want to talk about? We
Man,
got a
you
few
know-
more minutes before we go to break.
I'm gonna tell you this topic right here came from Buddha. Buddha is gonna be, I guess, presenting himself. Monogamy is one of the things that he was feeling like he wanted to say some things, and I really want him to say it. That way, get all eyes off me. You always get stared upon when it comes to these topics, and my whole thing is, man, we bring these topics because we try to find great things to talk about, and it's not something that we need to deflect. Monogamy is something serious, and I really feel like a lot of times everybody's not really serious when they enter it. You just want to enter somebody. And that's what I've been noticing.
You just want to enter somebody.
Yeah, I said it the right way. It's like me being celibate. I don't know how to be celibate, but I know how to sell a little bit. So, they sound similar, but they far from each other. They're nowhere near each other. But just understand how this goes. So, if a guy meets a girl and she's like, yo, I just want one man and I want this and that, he hears that. So now all of a sudden he's gonna cater to her from what she's saying, and he's gonna enter into a monogamous relationship because that's what she said, even though that's not his intent.
Yeah. Are you starting the show already? Don't start.
No. You just asked me some thoughts. I was to give you some small thoughts on different things.
Okay.
So that's just one of a person's using the ability to talk to a person to use a person.
Okay.
And that is not the right way to use that word monogamy, because monogamy is understanding the rules.
Right.
Because now you're setting a little bit more purpose to your dating. Dating is just willfully doing whatever with whoever, dating as many people as possible. Monogamy puts a lot of that to a halt.
To rest, yeah.
And when you do that, everybody's not prepared for it.
Right.
And do not force a person that's not prepared for something because you want it. I feel like that's going to be the biggest disaster. One of the things you want is somebody to enter willingly, and that way you can say I can hold them more accountable. Well, most people force you into it, and then they get mad. So we want to control the madness and get back to a better understanding, because if I see you in the same way, we can grow together. But if you feel like you can force somebody just because of the fact I look good and you should see what's in front of you, my whole thing is, even though I see what's in front of me, what's saying to me and what you're talking about is not getting through to me. So it might not be a good fit for me. So let me continue doing what I do.
Okay.
That's just a thought. That's just a thought. I can't say for everybody.
No, that's your material right there, buddy. We got to push that back to the next segment, because that was some good statements, and I want to talk more about that. I am clueless about where this show is going tonight.
Oh my God! Wait till Buddha got
So
the
y'all stay tuned, because we are live and in living color right here on Bar Talk with Jay. We got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey coming up in a segment or two from now, and of course Jay and I always go in the second half of the show. So you folks stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. We hope you enjoyed that clip. I'm trying to always help people understand the power of the mind and how to change their mind and become more focused on life. and create more life rather than life just happening to you.
Yeah.
You have the ability to create it. And all you simply have to do is to work this muscle. And as physical as it may be, it is a spiritual muscle. And we have to work it out just like we work out our bodies.
Yep.
Right? If we don't, then it gets stale, mundane, with old ideas, and it keeps producing the same life. Right? The mind produces the life. If I keep thinking the same way, then I keep manifesting the same life. That's why we have to introduce new ideas all the time by reading and studying and praying and meditating. Those are how we influence the mind. You know, I always talk about meditation as a way to let the mind settle. And if you allow the mind to settle, just completely settle, take about 10 minutes and just focus on your breathing. Breathe in and out, do nothing but focus on your breathing. I promise you that you're going to see some miraculous things happen out of that. See, because our minds already know how to get it done. They already know how to get your life done. The thing that you want, your mind knows how to do it. But we are in the way. And our thoughts are in the way. Our unproductive thoughts cloud the atmosphere of our mind so that those things don't come to the surface of our minds. Right? And so when you meditate, it's like imagine a room filled with dust.
Right.
And you just sit there quietly long enough, all of that dust will settle. And when it settles, you will have perfect clarity over the subject for which you went into meditation for. I've been using this as a technique for many years, and I learned it from some of the greatest. Russell Simmons was one of my favorite stories, and he always talked about when he got a hold of it is when his wealth began to produce. He would go into his room. He created a special room in his house. He would go in there for a solid hour. He would set the alarm and close his eyes, and he would not open his eyes until that alarm went off. And he just started synchronicity just started happening in his life. It's like his mind would start taking him to his highest goals and dreams because he didn't have the dust cloud.
Okay.
Right? He was clear. So just another great idea, another grand idea about how to continue to develop yourself and how to develop your mind, how to develop your spirit. We all need that because that's the life that we're in. Thoughts create reality. It'll never be any different. And until you get a hold of that, you're just operating kind of passively in life. You're not taking control of your life. That's what goal setting is all about. It's getting you to have clarity about what you're going toward tomorrow. And if you don't have that clarity, then you're just drifting out in space, right? Even your mind says, well, we don't know where to go, so let's just drift out in space. But if you tell the mind, I want you to get laser focused on going to there, there is where your mind will begin to focus. And you'll see all kinds of synchronistic things happening, drifting you toward. You'll meet the right person the next day. You'll get favor and money will show up. And somehow the time issue that you had will kind of fade away into the nothingness. The problems of life are caused by our own consciousness, by our misuse of consciousness, our misuse of our thoughts. And so we got to clarify that and start to understand what right thinking looks like, So I can carry on and on about that one all night.
Yeah, we need some sidebar.
Yeah, I can carry about that one all night. So tonight we're talking about monogamy. Monogamy. Why do people want to be in a monogamous relationship? And it seems like women push for it. And, maybe it's, sometimes I've looked at women pushing for it as a survival technique. It's a part of their instinct. It's a part of their instinct to come together with a man, be with him, have a man. Have a man in her life. Sometimes it may not always be the right one, but sometimes
anybody,
just to have somebody. Sometime. I
don't want to be by myself.
BS in your life, then you don't want nobody around. You just want to.
Then you don't want monogamy.
You don't want monogamy. You want trigonometry.
What? I want to multiply this. What happened wasn't working. I saved myself for nothing.
Paying in a relationship will make you think about being a Mac.
What? From way back.
Just, they are paying. It will, but them pains hurt sometimes.
Oh, it do.
So I wanted to start off with a simple definition for monogamy.
What you got?
And, I'm going to give you three very simple ones. It is the practice or state of being married to one person at a time. It is the practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner. It is the habit of having only one mate at a time. And in most cases, I would say, there's a lot of unique relationships out there, but in most cases, it is monogamy that takes people into marriages and lifetime relationships.
Right.
And so there is something good to be said for monogamy because we know that it builds families, it builds communities, it builds the infrastructure of character in people to do righteousness. And so it's a good thing, right, Jay?
I believe it is definitely a good thing.
Okay.
When you're looking at it the right way.
What do you mean by that?
Because again, if you're looking for that, that is something that's defined.
Okay.
When you're not looking for that, and somebody push you for that, that's where you have to push back and have a better understanding.
You keep bringing up pushing, man. You must get a lot of pushing on about
hell yeah,
man. You get a lot of pushback about monogamy. Listen,
I can't wait to feel come up here.
I want you to try to have empathy for these people who just may be pushing you for monogamy. Watch this now, right?
Well, help me.
Because listen, the lay of the land says that if you don't get married, you can be happy without marriage.
That's correct.
But a lot of people are very happy, quote unquote, in marriages, right? And so what people want is they want a side piece, they want to ride or die, they want somebody in their corner that they can live the rest of their lives with. Okay. They don't have to keep relearning this person. They don't have to keep, going back and forth. They got somebody, and it may not be everything that they want or need, or it may turn into something different, but they got a man, they got a woman. And that's what people want, right? In general, Jay.
I mean,
so how can you not have empathy for somebody just wanting to be in a monogamous relationship?
There's nothing wrong with them wanting it.
Okay.
But if the person don't, you can't force it onto somebody.
Force? What is this coming from? I don't understand.
Oh, hell, I'll tell you all about it, because I got the one that came up with this in the room. So don't worry, back up as a rock.
Okay.
But one of the things I can tell you is this. It's real simple to me because I did monogamous relationships and I agree with them. I had no problem with them. But when they didn't work out for me, I really felt like at that time I wasted a lot of time with a person and I tried to make it grow and it didn't work. Now, I will say one of my biggest faults in that is I didn't take time to myself. So the monogamous relationship was not the unhealthy thing. The unhealthy thing was me. Because when I got out of my marriage, I didn't take time. I got into a monogamous relationship. So I don't want to make it like monogamous relationships are wrong. It was the person that got into them, and it was me. Okay. I got in too simple.
Okay, let's try to take personality out of the discussion for a little bit, right?
Okay.
This will be a little quiz for you, right?
Okay.
Just short answer.
That's right.
Short answer, right?
Anyway.
Give me 2 or 3 major benefits of monogamy.
Partnership, commitment, and it's a part of loyalty. And them right there are one of the major things why I like it.
Yes, that's good. So okay. Now, let me see. We need to probably do an example. What's the opposite of monogamy?
Dating. Without it. I mean, just drop off monogamy and you just dating.
Yeah, and and
you're a free for all.
The thing that kept coming out in this definition is one person at a time. Only one partner, only one mate at a time.
And it leads to marriage. That's why I say a lot of times women will push for that because again, why? That's their plan. That's their goal. So it makes sense. And if you don't have that same intent, that's why I say that's where the pushback has to come, because you can't just rush in it, because that's what most people do. They get into it because that's what somebody else wants. And you know something? I guess I want it too. So now you're just following and you don't really care to be in. And that right there is the epitome of failure.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I mean, y'all get what you want.
And what is the benefit over dating versus a monogamous relationship?
The only thing I can tell you about dating is on the front is getting to know multiple people, because again, if I this and monogamous, it's just one person. I'm putting all my time and energy into that one person that might not even be for me. And it could be a waste of my time. If I date multiple people. I don't disrespect anybody. I let them know what I'm doing. And at that point, I have more options, and then I make a decision on who I want to get in a monogamous relationship with. If I choose not to get in a monogamous relationship with anybody, that's still my choice. And my whole thing is...
You keep fighting for that choice, man. What
why wouldn't I fight for my choice? I mean, if you don't stand for something, you die for anything. If I'm gonna stand for something, stand for it.
Yeah.
If not, I'm gonna let another person force me into something I don't care for. I'm never gonna say my marriage was a failure because I was forced into anything. I made a decision and I didn't hold myself accountable. Period.
It sounds like you just been catching a lot of heat, Jay.
Well, I catch heat and I don't mind the heat because if another person wants it, it makes me know that person. I am not mad at anybody that wants that. Anybody I ever talked to said they just wanted me to be exclusive. I love it. I want somebody to see me and want me to be with just them. I don't want them to see me as a hoe all my life or anything else because all I have is hoes and tendencies. I am not a hoe. I'm a caring person that cares enough to know if you want to defame me by saying things that you cannot prove because you don't know who all I've been with. All you know is what somebody else told you because I won't tell you everything. It's not for you. It's on me and my God knows who all I was with and he put me through this path so I can make better decisions because I made enough wrong ones. But everybody else want to judge because they don't want to face their own. All they want to do is be with me. But you ain't even face your own demons. I face mine. And I don't got time for you to face yours after you with me. Face it before, for we can grow together. I'm tired of growing apart because you ain't ready. You want what you think you know. I've been there.
Yeah.
So what I won't cheat is because I already made them decisions. I already know where they lead me. You guessing.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Ooh, Jay, you on fire tonight, boy. My God,
Purpose, my brother. Purpose.
You a cutler, boy.
It's just, but don't worry. I got somebody that's gonna come in this. I don't know why he's sitting over there to the side. Buddha, come in the building. Let everybody know you in the
We
building.
got about 5 minutes or so before we go to break.
I was just gonna ride and come in on the break.
You just gonna come in on the
Make sure
break.
you're talking to Mike. Put the mic up to you real good.
Gentlemen.
Yes.
What's going on?
What's up, Buddha?
You know how it is, slow motion.
Yeah.
Trying to make a little bit happen.
Okay.
Make $1 out of 15 cents.
Yes, sir.
Well, you gonna make it stretch even more. It's a recession.
I feel your
He
plight.
ain't never lied.
I feel your plight. So we know that you got some very unique perspective, and we want to always, and we want to save those right for later on. I don't want you to chime in on those right now because we're gonna have a special segment just for you.
Okay,
we've already discussed it, right?
Oh yes.
So we are so intrigued by your ideas, but no, I want you to talk now, right? So give me some ideas about monogamy. What's your just general thought process on monogamy relationships, etc.
Well, me and Jay was talking earlier during the week, and I saw a husband and wife podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, why do women always push monogamy? When most of the time, they really don't want monogamy, they just want control and power. So
That's the way to get it.
Not necessarily.
That's the way to get it, man.
Because, okay, all right, it's like this. Say you're not getting sex at home, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the punishment is quote unquote, I'm not going to give you any if I get mad at you.
Okay.
I'm not getting it. I'm not missing it. That's not a punishment for me.
Okay.
It's not, especially if you're not doing it. How's that a punishment?
Right. I mean,
Hold on, hell no, hold on.
Yeah, you
It's a hey, listen,
That's not
hold
a
on.
Listen, it by her intention, it's a punishment.
Right.
Okay.
But if I'm already not getting it, it's not a punishment.
But why? She should be doing something
But what I'm saying is, of course she's doing something sometimes. But the thing is, if you pushing monogamy and you try to hold back the cookie, but you're not giving the cookie the way I want you to get a cookie, it's really not a punishment.
Okay.
Yeah, because you ain't really getting the cookie.
Okay.
Exactly.
You created an argument, and what's the answer?
Give it to me. Then you want to take it away. Then it's a punishment. Other than that, it's not.
Wait a minute, you hold on, hell no. Now this give it to me, then take it away. You just gave them an answer to what I don't care for.
No, I'm saying if you want to punish me,
right,
you have to be feeding me to punish me. If you're not feeding me, you're not punishing me.
That makes sense. But you introduced the idea of getting mad with you, and so it's just like, that's temporal. So, she got mad with you, wouldn't give you none that night or for the week or whatever the case may be. And so that's just her way of playing it out. But I'm of the notion that see, she ain't got to give it to you, even though she in a monogamous relationship with you.
She don't.
Right?
We talking about dating. We talking about marriage.
Now we talking about monogamy. We talking about whether you're in a marriage or a relationship or even a sexual relationship.
But it's a monogamous.
Right? It's a monogamous relationship. One partner at a time.
That's it.
You are focused on one person and one person only. And I'm just hoping that that's really the greatest way in the world. Right? I'm hoping that one woman is enough and that's all we should do. And that's, when we get to the pearly gates, I guess we'll get it all figured out, right? But right now, that's what we reach for. Young men and old men, we reach for Mrs. Right so that we can have that one perfect woman, that one great benefit, asset in my life. And it is, it's important to make the decision as to whether you want or can handle only one person in your life. And
you don't make me go to drink.
Handle one person.
That's a conscious decision, right?
Okay.
And I think anybody who's in that notion is kind of on the relationship path. Right?
Well,
anybody who's, we gotta cut. We gotta go to break.
With Jay.
Welcome back.
Now, this segment right here is going to be brought to you by, we don't know if he had a good day or not. This segment, you'll never know until he go to talking. So one thing you might want to do is hope he had a good day, because we want to know how it's going. Jeffrey, today, big baby.
Brother Jay, Brother Kraft, how's it going, fellas?
I don't know. We're kind of nervous.
We doing good over here, man. We like Jay said, we got us on pins and needles.
Yeah, man.
How you doing tonight,
You be tripping, Jeffrey. You be tripping.
Man, listen, I washed my car yesterday and it rained today. But in spite of all of that, my daughter loves me, my granddaughter loves me, my son loves me, my mama and all my brothers and sisters, they all love me. But you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. And if it does apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them, because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first.
All right.
All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you want a man, but you don't want a man. I need you to understand what I'm saying. See, you want a man who will fawn over you and put in the work to have you love him and give him a chance and for him to pursue you and to beg you for that date that he has to pay for. You don't want a man who will hold you to account for being whole when you come to the relationship, or that he knows that he's just as worthy of adoration as you are. A man who has the balls to check that ass when your mouth betrays the respect the relationship righteously deserves. You don't want a man like that. You want a man that jester of a man who waits at your beck and call, who lives to entertain you, who just sits there and focuses on the promise that one day you gonna love him. You want a man that you can control. You don't want a king. You don't want that responsibility. You don't want that accountability. You don't want that partnership, because deep down you know that you're not a queen. You know you don't deserve it. And that's why your ass is single.
You adjusted and you busted.
I didn't think the rain could upset somebody.
Ooh, man.
So much.
Hey, Jeffrey. Do I need to pay for your car to get walked next week? What's up, plan? Hell of a brother.
That's good, though, man. That's good. You want a man, but not a real man.
Yeah. Right. You want an adjuster.
Adjuster.
Right next to a buster.
All right, Brother Jeffrey, we'll hand it back to you, man.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next.
Okay.
All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you a buster. I mean, first of all, your credit is busted and you're non-bankable. Your reputation is so bad, it's busted too. The piece of car you got, it can't even pass emissions, so you can't take a woman on a date because you're riding dirty. Your cell phone is prepaid and your minutes are low. You can't call your home your apartment because your name ain't on the lease. Your desire to do better is busted. Your best days were in high school 35 years ago, and you didn't even graduate. Your ambition is low. You are looking for that struggle love. Your testosterone is high, but your teeth are busted. You're barely employed. Your shoe game is tight as hell, though. You ain't got no plan, no direction, no drive, no motivation, no guts. How dare you try to date at all? And that's exactly what she said to your ass when she left you single.
Hey, Jeffrey, this ain't about no car wash. You went down and dirty on that one.
Something else happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody did it, really.
Hey, Jeffrey, who pissed you off? What? Name him.
Yeah.
That right there, that right there came personal. He was deep.
To the message and the messenger, but listen to how it's delivered.
Yeah, he delivered that fine tuned.
Yeah. He said, and he was right online with you though.
I bet you Jeffrey texted.
Busters.
I'm telling you, Jeffrey definitely text somebody and say, listen to this segment right here. And they're gonna be calling him afterwards and saying, Jeffrey, go to hell.
We know. There's a lot of men need to hear this though.
Oh, he did it.
There are a lot of men need to hear that.
Lord.
And especially when you a lot of people put their head down when you start talking about credit.
Oh, what? He said you busted and disgusted.
You ain't got no plan.
No.
Your teeth messed up.
But you game tight.
Yeah, he said you game. Yeah, you got the best shoe game ever. And can't hoop.
Look, no teeth, but shoe game tight.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brother Jeffrey. You hit us across the head. Back to you, my friend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand something. With nothing but reverence and respect for everybody that I talk to, I don't do this, to break anybody's spirit. I don't do this to hurt anybody's feelings most days. But what I am trying to get you to understand is that more so than any outside limitation, the main limitation that you face is within. Those seeds of doubt that have been planted in us since we were little kids. That little affirmation that was drilled into our heads that we were not quite good enough to deserve the things that we rightfully are due. That belief that what other people got is they got because they worked so hard for it, not knowing that somewhere down the line, their parents got a free land grant. Their great-great-great-granddaddy got some free education to teach them how to manage the property. There's something else that happened that for those people, if you will, that helped them get an advantage. So I want everybody to understand something. Credit ain't that hard to get straight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's not that hard to get straight. Being financially literate, it ain't that difficult to do. What we have to do, though, we have to recognize that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to be good at something when you first start. But unless you start, you're never going to be good at it. Mm-hmm. Unless you tackle your credit, it's always going to be bad. Unless you actually do the work it takes to become financially literate, you're always going to be financially illiterate. So I'm saying this way because I want us to understand that there's a great awakening going on in our communities. And once it continues to grow and spread in the way that it spreads, is going to come down and infect our children in a positive way. I don't mean like the coronavirus, but I mean in a way that's sustainable to help them move further along than we have. But it only happens when we recognize that we are worthy, that we are more powerful than we know. And when we step into the fullness of that recognition, then we're going to be on to something. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got.
That's powerful.
That's all.
That's powerful.
Man, drop the mic. Jeffrey has spoken.
Gotta remove that self-doubt, man. That's where he started. And, I'm a big proponent of that because that is what's plaguing our world. That's what's plaguing people's potential, is self-doubt. They won't step out in new areas of their life, from relationships to health to prosperity. They won't step out because they're dealing with this self-doubt. And it comes from a lot of issues, sometimes in our young life, in our youthful life. But, we got to get a hold of it. And if you can get a hold of it within yourself, that's the only place you're going to be able to attack it. Right? You cannot fix self-doubt in the world. You have to fix it on the inside of your spirit. So, well put, Brother Jeffrey. Tonight we are talking about why do people want to be in a monogamous relationship? And more importantly, why do women push for it?
Oh, because that's what they were told. That's what they were taught. They were taught that, hey, you need to get one man that will be yours, that will show fealty to the relationship that you're in with him. What they forgot to tell you is the responsibility that comes along with that is that you're going to need to be his everything, his every fantasy, his every sexual desire. And a lot of women come up short in that department. They come in thinking, oh, we married now. I ain't got to really do nothing for you. No, baby. You better bust it. Is you? You know what I'm saying. You seen the video going around. It's all
Go ahead, Jim.
But I need these women to understand that if you ask a man for monogamy, well, you better be ready to fulfill his sexual desire like you are a polygamist, all in one woman. Everything that he desires. Now, if you want to focus on you, you have to meet that need. I understand. Now, don't get it twisted. If it's a physical ailment or something like that, that man's going to have to hold back. He's going to have to recognize that your health is at stake. But if you are healthy and the cookies is moist, you're going to have to bust it, baby. I'm sorry. You're going to have to bust it,
baby. I said bust it, baby.
Boy, we love your perspective.
Yes, bust it.
You said a lot that we're going to tie.
We're going to tie into this in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah. That is so good. So rich, Brother Jeffrey. You always put it down, man. Any parting words for us, my friend?
He just parted it.
Don't ask me how I know about them busted videos. Don't be worried about that. We're gonna keep that between us. Between friends.
It seemed like you was on TikTok.
Hey.
Jeffrey got a TikTok.
Too soon.
That's all I got, fellas.
All right, brother.
Thank you for being here, man. We'll talk to you next week, my friend.
All right, take it easy.
Okay. And folks, you have heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey.
He did that.
Yes, sir.
He always do it, man.
Hey, man, you got that song, Bust It. You got to play it at this point.
Bust it,
man.
You ain't got it. Oh, man.
Listen, it's time for us to take another break. And we have about 3 minutes. Okay. 4? Okay, 4 minutes. All right. So, listen, I like what he said about monogamy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said that women push for it because they've been taught that.
That's correct.
They've been told that. That's kind of the formula, right, for women.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's suggesting that where they're falling short is the recognition of the responsibility that goes with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I like the words he said. He said, you have to be his everything.
Yeah.
And that's such a fitting word for marriage. That's such a fitting word for a lifetime relationship.
Such a fitting word for doing it.
Can you hold it?
Yeah.
We ain't talking about starting and then stopping.
Right.
We talking about continuous.
Yeah. 3 minutes?
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
And that ain't long.
Hey, whole lot of 3 minutes.
Everybody gonna be monogamous. 3 goddamn, you have a whole lot of divorces.
If y'all don't know, Phil is our 3 minute man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Phil,
Yes, sir.
Phil handles everything within 3 minutes.
Within 3
He
minutes.
said, if a whole song play,
You shout.
you better figure it out.
I'm telling you, I just imagine every time you say that, I imagine your woman making a decision as soon as you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Johnny, here I come.
No,
You
Then she gonna send him a text message.
no, he wake up. That must be plugged up. Yeah, she said the battery's go dead. She plug it up.
I should have worn my shirt. I should have worn my shirt.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
She got them kind where she just put in a panty. She just all night.
I got the remote control.
I have to turn it off for about 3 minutes.
She got that mug taped up. It's down.
So, listen, we hope you folks are enjoying the show. We hope this is, making some sense and giving you some ideas. Monogamy leads to great relationships, and it seems like so many people run from them. And I'm not sure why people run from them. I think I want to talk a little bit about that. Why do people run from monogamy? And there are some good reasons, and then there's some reasons that's some bullshit. And I think we need to talk about that. So with that in mind, you folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Man, welcome back. Listen, that song, that's my song right there, right? Never let me, it's called Can't Let Go. I can't let go of that love, right? One of the things that I thought about, folks, we're talking about why do people want to be in a monogamous relationship?
Right.
And why women push for it, right? Men oftentimes feel pressure from women about being in a monogamous relationship, marrying, being engaged, etc. And I think the one thing that we have not talked about, and we're going to talk about why people run from relationships, but I think it's important to note that what you're running from is love. That a monogamous relationships produce loving relationships, long-term, healthy, loving, satisfying relationships. And you get love through a myriad of experiences. You acquire love, you express love, you receive love through a myriad of experiences. And so by running from monogamy, you are running from love. You're running from relationships. Why do people run from love and relationships? There are some good reasons and some bad. What do you think, fellas?
I take it, you said why?
Yeah.
I run from anything I ain't understanding.
You don't understand love.
So all love is not being regurgitated the same way.
Reciprocated.
Well, I said regurgitated. I threw up. I ain't like none of it. I threw up again. So when I went through it and I had a miscommunication with it, I had problems.
I quit.
So again, when you go through a lot of things and no one else is teaching you, you're lost. And then you expect to get it right, but there's no one teaching. There's nobody telling.
There is no textbook for relationships.
It's
right?
not.
There's no book that just says here's how a relationship's supposed to go.
It's not.
And I would love to see that model, at least a model created, so that everybody can at least have a glimpse of some portion of normality. Some portion of the average. What does love really look like?
But I tell
there's
you,
no textbook for it.
Some things about love shows you when you're away from it, sometimes than when you was with it. Because I've seen some things after somebody was gone that made me realize that they showed me more class and more love than the next person that came because they was no longer around me. Because a lot of times you don't really feel it and you don't understand where they're going. I might look at it as a control thing. And she was looking at pushing me and propelling me. But I didn't want to be pushed. So I didn't care for it at that time. And then when that person is not there, you realize they was really trying to help you, but you looked at it as just trying to control you. So it's a perception. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest problems of today. Everybody looks for the negative and the positive. It's your mindset that helps determine half of that. And if you ain't looking at it right, I promise you won't get it right. And that's what I learned through a lot of dating. A lot of it's my own mindset, not just theirs. Mm-hmm. So when I was in a monogamous, it wasn't nothing bad about it. I told you, well, one, I wasn't ready. I didn't detox. So that person did not have a fair relationship with me. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there's no reason for me not to re-enter. The reason I didn't go right back in it is I had too many failures. And I had to check myself. Okay. Now that's me coming to reality, but that's only after feeling so much pain. Why? And you start doubting yourself. And I'm going to tell you, that's the worst thing you could ever do. Is not loving yourself and looking at yourself in a negative way. Mm-hmm. I promise you, you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. Exactly. So I had to come to that harsh reality scared about being myself because I didn't love self. So when I had to take that time and start healing, no one understood what I was going through. They was too busy judging. Oh, you can just get into another. You fall off a horse, you get back on. Let me tell you something. You fall your ass off, you better recognize what you did wrong. So you get your ass back up there, you're going to fall right back off. Exactly. All right? Well, that's the same thing that people tell you, but they ain't giving you the whole picture. So I'm hearing that I need to get back on, but I didn't know how. I'm tired of falling off. I'm tired of it not working.
And listen, by the time you reach your 40s and 50s, you've been through a whole bunch of stuff.
And you're tired of that.
And you are tired of that. And, sometimes I think, there is a good reason to run from monogamy. And you said it, Jay, you're just not ready. And not ready can mean so many different things. But you don't want to commit. You're not in a position where you have enough energy or strength to commit to something that just might fail again, right?
Yes.
You're just in a place where I just can't take another fall, and so I'm not gonna set myself up for a fall. Rather than getting on this horse, I'm gonna walk beside it.
That way I ain't gonna fall. I'll watch that horse fall down. I fall down.
Yeah, I definitely ain't gonna fall no more. So, not being ready, not having the mindset, not having dealt with your pain before, self-doubt. One of the things that just popped into my head as you were talking, Jay, is, these questions actually start out pretty early in our meeting other people. Mm-hmm. When you meet somebody and you start chopping it up on the phone, spending time on the phone late nights or sharing, movies and books, eating out and going out and all that other stuff. Somewhere in the midst of that equation, someone is going to begin to have an expectation that I'm going to see you tomorrow, that you're not seeing someone else, that, it sounds like we're on the same page, like we're moving in the right direction. And, you might start this relationship on a Sunday night, and by Wednesday, y'all done hooked up, watching Netflix and chill or whatever, and you spend 2 or 3 days with her, and then, like, on Saturday, you get up and go.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Why would I? I do gotta work.
Well, it ain't that you going to work. It's that you leaving, going somewhere, but you ain't really.
I'm going back to work. Then like I worked on that, I gotta work on
You see my point.
I got you.
The situation will begin early in the game to start understanding, sometimes maybe even asking questions as to whether we're in a monogamous relationship. When do you ask that? When do you sense that? When does that happen? Is that just magical, or is that?
No, it's not magical.
Is there a formula for that?
There's no formula to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you.
So what happens?
Before you go to the formula, because I want his opinion. I want to hear his. But one of the things I can tell you all day long, if you're not ready, and if you're not, from a female or to a male point of view, be strong in where your feelings are.
That's
Please
very important.
understand you, because
Yes.
I've entered many relationships, and when I say relationships, dating relationships, that they wanted to go into a monogamous relationship. You have to be very stern to say, that's not what I want. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a lot of flack. It's no different than going ahead and just entering it. You can't please. You have to stand on the ground. They're going to give you hell for it, but how you stand is how you perceive. They're going to perceive you in a positive way, because even though they don't like it, the bottom line, they got to know what you stand for, because any woman going to try anybody.
Now see, that's a gray area you're talking about right there, Jay, because
I don't want to lie.
yeah,
I'm not going to enter it for the hell of
Well,
it.
let me ask you this. Let's just try to put this in elementary terms. You at the very outset recognize that she wants a man. She look for a relationship. Right. Mm-hmm. Now she's not gonna push it on you. She not asking you marriage questions the first night.
Most of them do.
And listen, that's an issue.
Doesn't push. Man,
let's just say, hold on. You're in the first few days. You're in the first few days, right? You early in the game. First few days. Listen. Again, we're talking about the question of whether we're going to go together, be as one, move forward, starts to happen early. It ain't just an abstract thing that happens 6 months down the road. It starts to happen right in the midst of dating. So you recognize that she's interested in, a husband and marriage. And she's all about family. She comes from family. She wants family. And you are totally not. Right. What do you do?
I'm not going to lie to you. At that point, it ain't even awkward. I allow her to make a decision. If I act like I'm going to give her what she wants, at that point I am wrong. If I tell her I'm not there, and I'm going to tell you, most people just go with the flow. Right. I'm telling you to go against. If that's not what you're ready for, don't enter it, because it gives more resentment and more hatred.
It's like closing the deal, though.
I don't need to close the deal.
Hold on. I'm asking this question.
Right, go ahead.
It's like closing the deal. I'm not going to close the deal until it's ready to be closed. Right? So maybe you stick around and get to know her. Maybe you stick around and become a familiar face. Maybe y'all go to the concert this month, and in January, in March,
that's
maybe y'all hang. No, what about friendship and companionship?
That's a waste of time, because why would you waste her time and waste your time when she's telling you she wants a relationship? Yeah. But you don't want a relationship. And you just want the cookies and chill and Netflix and chill.
And she knows that. And she knows
that's wasting your time and hers.
She knows that.
Give her the choice. Look, we gonna kick it or we not. It's real simple.
If you're not looking for a relationship and she gonna give you cookies, why didn't you take her the cookies? What's the problem?
To me.
Well, all right. What you complaining about? She already know you don't want to be in no relationship, but she's still gonna entertain your dating every once in a while.
That's where the problem rises.
I'm listening. That's what I want to hear.
That's where the problem rises.
Talk to me about that.
Because she feels that if she stays and continue to do what you allow her or what you want from her, right, it's going to change her mind.
She thinks she got a shot.
Then she's pushing monogamy.
She thinks she got a shot.
And then she gets upset when she find out that you talking to somebody else and she see you out with somebody else, but you done told her, no, this is not what I want.
You ain't got no feelings about how she feel about that. You already done told her. You ain't upset because she upset.
But that's the problem. That's when she should have said, he doesn't want this. He doesn't want what I want. Right. Let me cut this shit right here.
Yeah, but the woman,
and walk away.
The woman gonna be like, I might be able to change his mind. He ain't never had no meatloaf like I fixed it.
That's where the problem.
Hang on, we about to turn this up. Hold on.
But that's where the problem rises.
You on?
Yeah. So the problem with that is if a woman says, okay, you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, and we say, all right, well, we out. Y'all keep calling us, blowing us up, because y'all still trying to get the cookies, this, that, and other, and we reiterate what you guys said you did not want, but you still want to come over here and get the cookies. Right. Well, I ain't giving up the cookies.
Okay, well, I get somebody else to give me the cookies.
But you still calling me, you still in my DM. Yeah. You still showing up at my house.
Listen, she talking about her experience
Same
now.
thing.
She talking about her experience, right?
This is what guys do. They tell a woman that they don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, but at the same time, you still calling me, you showing up at my house, you sending flowers to my job, you still chasing me, and you said you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship when I said I did, so I left.
And listen, don't
He want the cookie. He just don't want
hold on.
relationship. That's why he doing it.
Please, and listen, cookies do make a difference. But listen,
Damn, crap.
listen, watch this though. Watch this.
Cookie make a difference.
Don't
Cookie mama.
Look, I'm gonna get the shirt. Cookie make a difference.
Don't mistake his interest in showing you gentlemanship or being companionship or sending you flowers. Don't necessarily mistake that he's sending you a different message. If a man is doing something for you, he likes you. Now he ain't ready to commit to you forever, but you know what? He's showing you that he like you. He's not gonna do that out of nonsense. We never do that stuff if we don't care. We only do the stuff if we care. So if he's still calling, that means he's still interested in you. He know you want something different. He ain't ready for that. Maybe he just got out of a relationship, whatever. But you can't cancel the whole equation just because he's still showing you some attention. Now, at a certain point, you may have to say, hey, you know what? This is how I need to manage him. Okay, I'm starting to feel some kind of way about him. I can't be around him without liking him, without getting the cookies. I wake up the next morning, wear out my shoes.
And your clothes.
I'm tired of waking up talking about wear out my shoes. I'm gonna play that song in a little bit. There is a chance that the man's still gonna like you, no matter what you desire. If he likes you, he's gonna like you, and he's gonna show you that he likes you. And it's kind of up to the woman to put her foot down. If she doesn't put her foot down, he's going to pursue, cookies and relationship, companionship, and all that goes with it. So I would, it's kind of unfair, but women probably have a little more. They need to speak their mind a little more clearly in those situations than probably.
Speak their mind more. Yeah. We're going to go to break on that one. But I can only say, again, watch what you do. What you ask for. Because again, we're going to come right back. Because again, monogamy is not one of these things that we're talking about in a negative form. We're trying to get your perspective of where you're looking at it and where you want to go. And again, I want it to be more healthy. Yeah. The number one thing tonight is to get it where you can have a healthy conversation with a person and understand where they at. Right. And then make a decision. Right. Quit lying. Quit lying. The number one thing I can tell anybody, if you're not comfortable with something, say it. There you go. And don't just commit to it because you want to cook it. There you go.
Hey, y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. I'm loving this discussion. Y'all hold on. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Man, such rich dialogue, bruh.
And it's
I'm enjoying this, man. I'm really enjoying this.
It's one of them things that's therapeutic.
It is.
It's like I told you, man. Everybody's not ready for what's being said tonight. Yeah. Everybody want to look at monogamy and say, hey, this is how you lead to marriage. But the bottom line is everybody's not prepared for marriage. So why are you leading somebody and you don't even know what they really desires are? So my whole thing is, are we really communicating? And are we really listening? Because I heard a lot of things on the break. And it can go back and forth when it comes to this monogamy thing. But before the monogamy, when you want to go back to young dating, somebody mentioned to me off air that, you should have been doing that when you was young. Well, first of all, when I was young, I was learning. I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to even make love. I had to learn as I grew. So when they said, well, you should have did all that in your 20s. First of all, don't give me a time frame of my ability to learn. Now, you are judging because what you want somebody to be is because of your perception. And that's where it's negative. Don't judge a person off of you. Understand that person and judge them off of things that they say. I promise you, one of the reasons why I wasn't quick to get in a monogamous relationship, because somebody showed me some negative in their own way of their talking. Mm-hmm. If you talk while I'm talking, you're not listening. That is a key factor in my determination on who the hell I'm going to be with. Because if you ain't taking the time to hear me, I promise you, you would not understand me. And then we're going to have another problem because we're going to be more arguing than a debate. To me, a debate is you listening to me and you say, you know something, I don't like everything you say, but this is how I feel. Now it's a rebuttal. If you speaking over me, that's what we've been taught. Well, I want to make sure my voice is heard, but the bottom line is you're disrespecting me. If this disrespect keeps happening, our kids learn it. And then you wonder why this generation behind us is so jacked up. Because the things that we allow to keep continuing. We have to respect one another to realize speaking over each other, yelling and fighting is not how we should be handling any situation. Period.
And let me give you an example of that. Have you ever, and we've all probably had this experience, you've been at a party, a picnic, an event, and there's a conversation going on, a pretty passionate conversation.
Right.
And then you hear, maybe one of the cute girls, right? All loud and want to talk over everybody else. And, she got something to say, and she got something to say off of everything somebody says. And from across the room, or from the side of the conversation, you'd be like, that's not it. You'd be like, because the first time she talked to me like that, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, and I wonder sometimes if those people even recognize the message that they're sending, in those scenarios.
No, because it's all about them.
Right.
And no one else.
Yeah.
They get into them so much, and then they get their attention.
Yeah. That's what they're looking for, attention, yeah.
Most people look for attention for other reasons.
And listen, but you can clearly see that this is a person who likes to have attention, control. They want to, they're not listening. They are, they're interrupting people, kind of rude. You can hear those things. And so I think this conversation kind of leads us to understanding what are some of those qualities that we may be looking for in a monogamous relationship. Let me just set it up. Early in the game, very early in the game, you meet this person, you talk 3 or 4 times, you maybe been out 2 or 3 times, and it starts to figure out that, hey, I might, this might be a keeper right here, male or female. It may be somebody I might want to hang out with, you might want to put the team down and start getting laser focused on her because she's worth it, right?
Okay.
And so at some point you're going to say to yourself, that's not it, right? Or you're going to say, that's what I'm looking for. What would you say?
I would say what you're saying is very true, but it comes in time. I hardly ever just ran across something like this is just it. My whole thing is take the time to know them because they're going to do some things that you're not going to like. But my whole thing is that's not a deal breaker. My whole thing is can they conform and can we conform? As in 2 people coming together is not natural. So if she has resistance and I have resistance, but we can work through it, then yeah, that's a keeper. But she wants you to make that decision early on. I can't make it early on because we're going to have challenges. I'm 50 years old. All right, I give my age up. I won't speak on most. But me, I am 51. So when I give up this age, it's for a reason. I've been through a lot. Right. So you have not been through as much as me. I'm not expecting you to be on a level or understanding me. And when I say level, it's not I want you to raise up. It's just I've been through what God put me through. That's my leveling. I'm leveling what the Lord has for me, not what your ass want for me. Because if what you want, I promise you, He got way more for me. Now, if you're a multiplier, and any woman come in my life, she understand about a multiplier, then she know about the Lord, and she know that now that I see you, I know where you can be. Now, it takes a great person to do that. And you got to be patient to find that. You cannot just find that because she look fine. I promise you, it ain't about how fine she looks.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And it's a sequence of events. It's a series of processes. It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of time together. But every single time that you're with this person, talking to them on the phone, in their company, whatever, texting back and forth, you're constantly asking yourself, do they measure up?
I am.
You're constantly asking yourself, are they worthy of my undivided attention?
Correct.
And And so it does take time because there are going to be some things that she does or she says that you don't like, you don't agree with, and you're going to have to absorb that a little bit.
Always.
You know, what did that mean? Is she always like that? Is that how she handles business, or is that, you know, what I can expect in the future? And you're going to have to answer those questions multiple times before you're seated on, okay, yeah, she does do that, but I can deal with that.
There you go.
Or she doesn't do this, but I can deal with that. You know, same from the woman's perspective as well. So it does take time to get to know people. But in the midst of getting to know them, I mean, here's the process for me. If I'm going to start into talking to you and start giving my time to you, if I put all my other phone calls and text messages away and et cetera, then I'm kind of expecting you to do so as well. And I'm not going to necessarily ask you to. Right?
You're wrong.
I'm going to see. I'm going to see what unfolds until it's time to start asking questions. Because what I really want is I want pureness. I want wholeness without having to influence the process. I want somebody who wants me like I want them, and I don't want to have to play no game. If she's dedicated, if the two people are dedicated to being in a monogamous relationship, then one or the other is not going to still be calling the ex, going to hit them every 2 or 3 days because they ain't getting no sex from the new person yet. They're going to start to be like, okay, you know what? I'm good on all that. I can move on and try to find some love, try to find some light. You know, love takes sacrifice, man. You can't be getting to know Mrs. Right and hitting your ex. It just doesn't work that way, bro. You're not going to get good out of that.
In the way you do it, I totally disagree.
Okay.
Give me why.
I totally disagree because you stated that, and this is your process.
You attacking me now?
No, I'm not attacking you. This is your formula.
Right.
That's not my formula.
I
would disagree with
What
you.
is your formula?
Because you stated that, you'll put your things to the side and expect her to do the same thing without having a conversation.
No, not expecting her. I'm just watching.
You're watching.
I'm patiently paying attention to who this person really is.
That is not how you start a relationship, deal with a relationship, and want to have monogamy.
I think so.
You have to have a conversation.
No, you don't.
You have to have a conversation because once you have a conversation, then you have understanding. Then there's no expectations because you put it all out on the table.
Hey, listen.
Okay.
If we're grown, we're grown.
Watch this. Let me just change the dynamics of the conversation.
Okay.
Every employer that you've ever had sat back and watched. You know the job, but did you come early? Did you clean up the break room? Did you take care of your desk? They are watching everything. They're not telling you to clean up your desk. They're not telling you to be on time. They're going to observe and see who you really are. Are you a game player? Are you on the team? Are you going to do this thing with righteousness and pureness and hope? Are you going to do it out of your own initiative, or do we have to tell you to come to work on time? Do we got to tell you to clean up your desk? Do we got to tell you to check your emails? Well, no. You know what I'm saying? Follow through is what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to tamper with that. I want to see it in its wholeness and pure form.
Back up. I love what he said. You know I like. But now it's time for me to pick the mic back up. Because when I say pick it back up, it's because without clarity, that would never be achieved. If you never set a ground rule of what you're going for, then you're just going off of what? Again, it's just like giving somebody an expectation and then not telling them exactly how to handle it. You're just trying to let them go willy-nilly. My whole thing again, you have to have some clarity and have some conversation, because without that, I promise you, no matter what nobody want to say, it's going to. Why wouldn't it? Because
we're not talking about willy-nilly here. We're talking about calculated decision.
Calculated by what?
We're talking about measuring information as to whether it jives with me.
What is being shown and what's being shown.
When you come to my house, do you help me clean up the kitchen, or you just walk out while I clean up the kitchen? I want to know that. I'm not going to tell you to clean up the damn kitchen.
You should.
You say you're gonna be there 8:15. Do you come at 8:35 and then don't have no excuse and don't apologize? I want to know who you are.
Yes.
Hold on.
I'm not
you have some issues. Hell no. You're telling something.
We're talking about observing the qualities of a person that makes them say they fit me. We can make this happen. I like that person. They're a team player. They own time. They're productive. They're respectful. They're empathetic. They understand. They try. You gotta see those from a person from their most genuine and pure perspective. Otherwise, they're going to be showing you their personality.
And you're going to get that if you have that conversation.
Okay.
You're going to get fake.
No.
You're gonna get led.
No.
I mean, I'm in sales
No.
for 30 years. You'll
Yeah.
get led.
No, you'll get that.
How?
Because if you know that you want to be with this person, and this person says that you want to be with them, it's gonna come automatically.
How?
It's gonna come automatically because
They might not know how.
Brother, if you tell a woman exactly what you want, guess what? She gonna be everything and then some of what you expect of her.
That's not true.
But when you get in that monogamous relationship, watch that shit fade away.
That's not true.
I'm not cooking shit. I'm not doing nothing.
True. Because
I'm not even gonna get up and make the bed in the morning.
Who
Brother,
you truly
gotta
are is going to show. Period. It's gonna show. Once you have a conversation and you know that this is what I want, and we gonna take this walk, we gonna take this step.
And I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I don't
Do
disagree.
you realize how long women can play the role until they get what they want, and then once they get what they want,
can play the role and get what they want.
Not as long as a man.
Not as long as a woman. I promise you. I'm a woman, and I'm telling you.
I have laid dormant on a woman because I wanted to cook it and pretended that she was the only person that I was dealing with.
Yeah,
but I was getting cooking somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet you she was too. I promise you. She was getting served. She was getting a full service. I promise.
Once I got the cooking, I was good.
She was too. Wait, what? But 3 minutes? Shit.
Yeah. She can't get an oil change that fast. Elsewhere though.
Hey, I bet you had to crank up the engine for
Can't get an oil change.
No, 3 minutes, baby.
That's good. That's good. Listen, I'm gonna say this again. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. It really is going to depend on the individual. It sometimes will depend on how you meet. Listen, if I meet you through my best friend's sister, right? That I'm gonna probably speak up a little early in the game because I don't want no stories coming back. I don't want no misleading. I don't want nobody saying I did this and did that. I'm gonna be like, hey, where your head's at? You know what I'm saying? I like you. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out next week. Da 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 da. In 2 or 3 weeks, it don't take long. In 2 or 3 weeks, you're feeling one another to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm really feeling you. And that's the thing. That's the key component I think in the transition is that somebody begin to express their true feelings. And whether the other person receives that then or not is the kicker. And so if she starts to be like, man, I really like you. I think I'm falling in love with you. Mm-hmm. And you be like, damn, baby, that's sweet.
I appreciate it.
Then
I appreciate it.
Then, she has to listen for that. She has to be paying attention to what he says to her because she's going to get some portion of the truth out of him in those moments.
Most women. Most women.
Can I tell you something? One of the things I can tell you, I do things a little different than most. And one of the things is when people bring up monogamy or bring up they just want to be with me, I'm quick to say, I'm not looking for that. Let me tell you something. Being honest is not easy, and do not think it comes with no backlash. Okay? Because I lied before, and I got more cookies off the lie, but I got more negative situations behind it. All right? So I wanted to make a change. Mm-hmm. Because you got a girlfriend? No, because I wanted to smash. I did all that.
Right?
That's nothing new.
That's good.
So my whole thing is, I said, you know something? I heard enough people. I want to make a change. So now, after being in a monogamous relationship, I wanted this date. I don't want to just get in, totally involved with anybody. I want to date multiple people. And this is what I want to do for right now. I'm not going to say long term, but I'm going to treat you like a queen. Because one thing I'm not going to do is disrespect any woman I'm with. All right? Because anybody I choose to talk to is a queen.
Right.
Yeah.
But listen, all that goodness the queen treatment is gonna sometimes make her feel like
No, I'm gonna tell you all day long. It might, but bottom line is this: I am not going to disrespect a woman because I was raised by one, and one that I respect, and I'm gonna respect anybody that was with me. I don't believe in that disrespect just because what I don't want. I want her to see me and hear me, and then give me the opportunity to make a decision about making my mind change. But if you disrespect me, then it will be canceled.
Yeah,
it's real simple.
Let me give you guys a little theory. I think we're just about time. B.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just want to give you just something to think about. I've kind of been practicing in my head, right?
Okay, what you got?
So it's like this. When I meet a woman, and we are getting to know one another and potentially falling in love, spending lots of time together. I would ideally like the woman to just sit back and relax and not talk about a lifetime relationship.
Okay.
I would almost like to see if she's interested in just being with me without any other type of connection. She will already know that I'm only calling her, that, I'm not seeing anybody else, I'm doing that. But if we can come into this communion type relationship, and it's just coming out of my pain from being pressured to be married, right? That if
you too,
right? If she would have just sat in the gap and say, I don't give a shit what happened, we gonna be together, nigga. I don't care, right? Because anything else start to make men feel like it's about something else.
Exactly.
It's about your clock. It's about timing. It's about, needing security. It's about control. We get real fearful of that. And so if I knew you was going to be on my team forever, I might automatically say, hey, this is it. She already showed me she's going to be here for the next 10 years. It no matter what we do. I'm going to marry. This is the one I want to marry. It's called a negative reverse, really, right? It's a reversal close. You're staying out of your prospect's way, right? Give him an opportunity to say yes. Don't ask him for the order. Say, hey, I've given you all the benefits. What do you think about this? Right? And then he'll say, well, I really like it. I think we want to move in the right direction. Listen, it's time for us to take another break.
Yeah, we got to take a break because I want to get in on that one.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you all day long.
Yeah.
But if you're getting all the benefits, why commit?
Well, I'm going to tell you about why I commit. Bottom line is, most people miss it because they ain't even know how to receive it. So again, you can give anything to anybody. Most people still don't know you. But when you learn a person, you're willing to stand by them.
Right.
Quitting is not an option for anyone.
Right.
Most people want to finish. My whole thing is let's finish correctly. If everybody lying to each other, you're making bad decisions.
There you go.
I want us to make better decisions. Honesty comes from internal.
There you go.
When I learn me and I speak me, then you'll know me.
There you go. Y'all folks, stay tuned. We'll get right back. More Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Tonight we're talking about why do people want to be in a monogamous relationship and why do women push for it? And we've had a lot of discussion all the way around it, man. I'm really loving the dialogue here because I think we're getting to what allows people to even entertain monogamy. And we talked about hurts and not quite ready and all kind of other stuff, and we talked about qualities in people that we see that just don't seem to fit. And I'll just say this at this point in the show.
What's that?
If you have an interest in getting married and being in a lifetime relationship with someone, and those two are not the same, but if you have an interest in being with one person for the remainder of your days, you're going to have to commit to one person at some time or another. And everybody has a different process. We know some of the greatest lifetime relationships and marriages have come out of people who decide to get married in the first 2 weeks. They meet each other, they get married, and I think there's something healthy about just committing. But in today's world, there's such a myriad of characters in the in the human mindset that you really have to be careful about who you attach yourself to. And I think perhaps the Lord has been warning us about that for many years. Be careful about who you tie your soul to.
I think we're gonna have to have a part 2 on this.
Part 2 can work, but I'm gonna tell you all day long, I'm with craft to a degree, because one of the things I can tell you is, through all your hurt, don't measure another person by it. It is to teach you. The biggest problem is you hold, and then you judge by your pain. It ain't about your pain, it's about your successes.
You can't judge by your pain. Yeah.
You got to go by your successes, because you got past that. He didn't ask you to keep your behind there. That's where you kept yourself. Now you judge people by a pain that was never met. I promise you, the next person ain't even trying to be the person you was with. They trying to be themselves, but I will tell you, the more you tell them of what you want, that's what they will be.
That's what they will be.
Now, my whole thing is, don't tell them about your past, tell them about you. And then at that point, they have no choice but to understand you. And then you will know each other in a better way, but most people always say, what your ex did. It's a negative connotation off of most people going through a relationship. When I see somebody say, I don't like short talk, I don't like this. This is based off of whoever the hell you was with. I don't care who you was with. I don't want to know what the hell he did for you. Because truthfully, it gives me a manuscript to play you. I'm not trying to play you. I don't even want you like that. I want to see if you good for me. Show me you.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get a person to show their damn self, because they are so used to being played that that's all they know. I learned something different because I played enough. Yeah. And that's what I'm telling you. Sometimes you got to get out there to realize what you don't need.
Yeah, I think the one point that we have continued to make throughout this show, throughout the history of this 4 years, is that nobody's healing between relationships. It just doesn't seem like people are healing. People are, and primarily, I believe, my empathetic notion is that people just don't know how to heal. They don't know how to heal themselves. And it does take time. It does take time to get the old person out of your spirit. And I often wonder, in fact, I thought about this during the break. I wonder how much love potential has been lost because people were not healed. How much love potential, how many families have been never made it because you saw something early in somebody that might have resembled what you did in the past, and because it was so fearful or frightful or painful that you just ran, and that might have been the very thing that was, that you needed in a relationship. If you got a man who speaks up, as long as he's talking wise and being respectful, doesn't necessarily mean he chastising you, right? But the last man wanted to, tear you down and, bring your world down around you, and this guy's just trying to help you. This guy's just trying to help you, keep you organized, keep you focused. But the last man, he was always talking outside his neck, and so you rejected everything he said after a while. And so the new man come in with some wisdom, you start rejecting everything he say, and you ain't even heard him. It is difficult to renew yourself between these relationships, but it is very important that you do so. Because your Mr. or Mrs. Right probably is not going to look anything like what you've ever experienced before. They're going to be brand new. They're going to have a new attitude. They're going to think differently. They're going to act differently. They're going to dress differently. They're going to spend money differently. They're going to treat you differently. And you got to be ready for all that differentness. All that difference.
You can't be ready if you don't love yourself.
Absolutely.
Number one.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
But hold on. But saying love yourself, define love yourself when you really hate yourself, because you don't even like what's in yourself. Now that right there is a part 2. Yeah, because when I tell you,
you have to be able to look.
Listen, that is real.
It's fiction.
But how many people are going to stand in the gap and say, "Oh yeah, I'm all fucked up. And I'm gonna say
me.
Alright.
I mean, you gotta be honest.
Yeah,
If you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else.
Listen, look at the state of our world, bro. The people aren't doing that.
They fucked up too. They followed Trump. Shit, they know they fucked
I'm
up.
just
Shit.
suggesting the law of averages. That, people are not being honest with themselves, and they're moving from relationship to relationship with the faults that they had in the previous relationship.
Know how to love themselves.
They don't know how, and
they don't understand. They don't know the key of understanding.
How do you get somebody to love themselves or to know that they don't love themselves? That's the point I'm trying to make. That you gotta have empathy for the person who is ignorant.
You have to get them to look at themselves.
Okay.
And that's what we do.
If they can't, if you can't love the person that you see every single day, that's a problem that you have to deal with. You have to fix yourself.
I don't know if I'm talking at a level here.
But the thing is,
you can hear what I'm saying. I'm suggesting that the average-minded person are not even asking those questions to themselves. They are not. They're unaware that they. Even if they do love themselves, they're not loving themselves.
They are programmed.
Right. So now,
hey, you 40 years old, you 20 years old, you 30 years old. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You're programmed to think that way. You have to change your mindset. Once you change your mindset, then you can start dealing with the issues that you have from, your childhood, from, your 20s, your 30s, anything that has had a negative impact, you have to deal with it. If you don't deal with it and you only suppress it, you're only suppressing negativity. You have to allow that to process out in order to love yourself and move on.
I'm not denying any of that. I'm just talking about those folks, and there are many of them. 80% of the population don't know how to wake up out of that sleep. And so that's what they keep taking one problem to the next problem to the next problem. And so, there's got to be some new ideas. There's got to be something that's going to inspire them to become anew.
And that's why we do Bar Talk with Jay and Minecraft. One of the things we're trying to do is try to attack you in a way where you can see you need help. But it's not a negative attack. It is about we're making judgment on people without the whole facts. You get in your feelings. Your feelings is based off of your beliefs, how you was raised, not off always the facts. So my whole thing is bringing a show where you can start digesting that other people look at things in a different way. Now, at this point in life, I need y'all to realize life can be two ways, negative and positive. It's your mindset that determines that. Because everything that come at me negative don't have to stay that way.
There you go.
Because I stay charged because of the person I'm with, like you. This gonna tell me, you don't have to look at it that way. All right? And that's what it happens because you believe in the person next to you.
It takes the iron sharpening iron. And you got to believe in somebody to listen to what they're saying.
And that's what changes you.
Especially ridicule or something negative. So the question becomes, as we end this show, as we close out tonight, is monogamy for you? And if monogamy is not for you, what might it take for monogamy to be for you? And so, ask yourself the question, is it right for you?
All I can tell you is monogamy is right for me when it's time for me. And that's up to me to understand me, to give to another person, and not give before I'm ready. And then it stays true. Yeah. Because she want a commitment. Don't commit before you're ready.
Yeah, and I'm ready. That's a very interesting equation because there's a whole lot of subjectivity to
That's
that.
Why I said part two.
Yeah.
He said part two.
Are you ready for, people who say they're ready for a monogamous relationship don't even know what the hell they're saying.
Because they got to take time.
Because the relationships can be very, very difficult. So,
yes.
With that, folks, we're going to close out this show. We hope that you have enjoyed this Bar Talk with Jay.
I'm just going to intervene one moment.
What's the intervene?
King Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. we'll pick up monogamy on the next show, part 2.
Yeah.
Now, what Bible you reading from?
He ran a great business. All right, y'all folks.
Yeah, heroin.
Y'all folks.
And I had a problem with one. She ain't me.
Part 2.
Right. So we thank you folks. We thank you folks for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate your participation. We hope you have enjoyed it. This is Bar Talk with Jay. We are here every Thursday, 7 to 9, Facebook Live. Again, we're on every other platform you can put your mind to. Share us, like us, subscribe. Come back and see us every week. And we appreciate you again. We love you. And with that, folks.
Hold on. Before we say we out, to the ones in the back. They
Yes.
came all the way from Columbus, Georgia.
Yes.
We got to give hats off to Teresa and Tammy, my cousins, coming all the way up for one reason only, is they wanted to add value to what we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand, but not to have some women on the show when we're talking about monogamy, I want to make sure y'all all view, because if it's just one-sided, I like to say it's tainted.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be fair so we can have a conversation. That's what we do.
It's tainted.
It's tainted. That's because you didn't talk. But the bottom line, this is what we do at Bar Talk with Jay. And we are out.
And we are
Yeah.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.